Hi, everyone. Welcome back to COVID Conversations. Today, Kelly and I were just actually in the middle of a real conversation, and we decided to hit record on the stress of trying to be a parent during the stay-at-home time. And Kelly, do you want to just kind of keep saying what you're talking about?
Yeah, I was talking about, well, Robin had mentioned that she had heard this quote about guilt. Can you say the quote again?
Yeah, so actually I was just on Twitter last night, and I saw a post from apparently a mom who said, I've never been home and around my kid as much as I am in the last, whatever, 8 or 9 weeks. And I've also never experienced this much mom guilt. And I just resonated with that so much. Usually leaving my house for 10 hours a day or more, and then coming home, I think what I was able to do is be totally present when I was home, because when I was at work, I was totally at work. And now I'm not. And so I think just like sort of being half attentive all the time to
Yeah.
everything is really contributing to that.
Yeah, it's contributing to that, and it's contributing to just a general feeling of stress, I think, too. Just kind of, that's kind of where that overwhelm comes from
Yeah.
just trying to do all the things. And then if you put a little bit of perfectionism on top of that, like trying to do all of those things really, really well, it's just not going to happen. But we were also talking about how it seems as if expectations have changed and kind of the goalposts have changed. So now we're expected to be with our kids pretty much 24/7 for many of us who are able to work from home anyway. And that has become the new norm. So now when we deviate from that, that's what's creating the mom guilt, because there's a deviation from what the new expectation is, the new norm. So before, when we were out of the house for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, if we had then gone out for another 2 or 3 hours or had dinner with a girlfriend or whatever, that would have brought on some of that mom guilt, because that was a deviation from the other norm. So things have shifted, and I think that they've shifted so rapidly that we haven't been able to kind of like catch up with it. It was just whoosh. It was like a huge wave that came in, and now here we are.
Yes, absolutely. And you were saying about your walk with your friend. You want to just share that?
Yeah, so my friend and I used to walk every single Friday morning together. It was our little ritual. It was before our kids got up. And we haven't taken that walk in like 10 to 12 weeks because of the social distancing. So we decided to do a socially distant walk a couple days ago. And I was riddled with guilt and anxious to get back home before my son got up. Now, mind you, my husband's there, and it wouldn't have made a difference at all to him. He probably didn't even know. But it was just that feeling of I need to be back there because it was so different from the way things had been.
That's exactly right. And I had the very same thing going out on my very first socially distanced walk this weekend with a friend, or I guess my second, and the same thing, just feeling so much pressure to sort of hurry up and be home,
Yeah.
even though there was nothing going on at home that I needed to hurry up and be there for. And so really trying to figure out what is driving that and what do we do with that, right? Because it's so easy to let that be the ruler of our behavior, and then to not go out on the walk with a friend, or to even just go out on a walk by yourself, right? Just take the time away from home. And that is a really slippery slope, I think, because then it leads back to what we were saying again before we recorded about how if we don't take any time for ourselves because we're feeling, I don't know, this sort of chronic guilt, like I'm home all the time, why should I take a day to myself or even an hour to myself, then we don't actually show up in the best way anywhere in life, right? Because we're just overwhelmed and exhausted.
No, exactly. And I think that the whole COVID stuff just adds another layer to that. Like mom guilt is nothing new. We've all had that in various forms. It's pretty insidious, actually. But I think that it's amplified now because it only takes a little bit to move the needle into mom guilt area.
Yes, yes. And it just seems so counterintuitive, right? I mean, we're
Totally.
around so much more. It would seem so easy to build time for ourselves.
But also, I think there's the expectation, like you said in the beginning, that before, when you were around, you were present, you were engaged, you were there. And it's really challenging to be that there, present, and engaged when we feel like we're pulled in different areas, like we're pulled to do work. And I also know, like, I feel the pressure to do more housework too. It's like, oh, I'm home. Like you could totally be throwing in a load of laundry right now.
Right, right. Well, and also people are home, so the house is just messier and dirtier, right? And like
Totally.
nonstop dishes. I don't understand how a family can make so many dishes, but
No, and I think I arranged the pillows. Not even talking like pretty arrange them, just like put them on the couch so they'll stay there at least 3 times a day.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So if you are a parent out in the COVID world and you're trying to work from home and parent, whether your kid is 5 or 15 or 25, and living at home, and you are experiencing this sort of guilt around taking time for yourself, or you just haven't taken time for yourself, I guess what would be the take-home message? I guess number one is that you're not alone. I think
Not
lots of us
alone.
are struggling with that. And then number two, just reminding ourselves that like our family unit functions better when we are better, right?
Yeah.
And I know, I'm just speaking for myself, like I know that I'm better as a parent and as a psychologist and as a family member when I have taken just a little bit of time to take care of myself.
Yeah. And I think going beyond the knowing you're not alone, having support and accountability, like even just checking in, and we both kind of started talking about this today. It felt good to not only know that I wasn't alone, but maybe to say, okay, now maybe I can be accountable to you when I'm
Mhm.
doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We see you parents out there.
We do. It's a
Yeah.
struggle.
Bye, everyone.